What's up, world? It's your girl Ingrid of Our Divine Beauty, and I am here after a long social media hiatus. I have not been alone in the social media hiatus. Many have done the same in an effort to protect and guard their hearts, their minds, their spirits, their energy from fear and the pandemonium going around and surrounding this pandemic, the quarantine, and all the subsequent effects and ripple effects that it's having on society and the world at large. And so I am here today to talk about my thoughts on the entire situation, as well as what I've been doing since I've been home, like the rest of the world. And stay tuned. So, I want to start my video with a disclaimer. By no means am I promoting fear, pandemonium, or anything of the sort. I am the type of person who uplifts, builds, and enlightens, and so this video will be no different. This is to encourage and to, promote preparation and preparedness. And this is by no means to make light of anything that anybody is going through, very real situations that are going on across the world. And so we definitely want to take serious everything that's going on, but I am going to, in my opinion, shine some light on some things that are very, very questionable to a person who is an empath, conspiracy theorist, or whatever you call it. There's truth everywhere, and if we're going to beat the drums and try to drown it out, or we're going to try to cover our heads and hide from it, reality is here. If you would have told somebody that the world was going to be shut down, they'd say you were conspiracy theorist, you're crazy, you're tripping. But guess what? They're here. So let's get into it. If you are anything like me, then you have been reading, following, studying everything that have hit the airwaves about COVID, about how long it's going to be here, how it got here, who it's impacting, who's at risk for it, where is it going, where it's been, blah, 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 blah. And you have run the entire gambit of reasoning for this thing. And it all boils down to one thing. There's a myriad of reasons why COVID is here, and I believe that. I do not believe that our government functions with one purpose and one person. It's like you got to hit multiple birds with one stone on some stuff, and I know for a fact that's what's going on. These people do not plan weeks ahead. They plan centuries ahead, okay? They've been studying psychology of your mind for centuries. The oldest psychology books, bro. Come on, man. These people ain't new to this. They true to this. So, in an effort to not become a part of the sensationalism, in order to not become a part of the sensationalism that I am talking about, I'm just going to, just hit, touch, and go with these things. I'm not even going to focus on it too much. You go do your research, you go look into it, and you figure out what you feel about it. But if I'm mentioning it, I feel like it is one of those things, one of those birds that are being hit with this COVID stone, okay? Is COVID-19 an attack on the elderly, the baby boomers, the elderly born between 1944 and 1964? Can they afford their retirement, their Social Security? What about our 401ks? Will they be able to pay me? Is COVID an attack on the middle class? As of a report on March 24th by Bloomberg, there were 11 million millionaires. As of March, just in a few short months in the year, that had decreased by 500,000. That was within a week of the quarantine. So how much more now when we're nearing a month? I think we already hit a month, or we're nearing hitting the month. And we're talking about going a few more weeks. So how many more millionaires have lost their millionaire status? The richer get rich and the poor get poor. Is COVID-19 a ploy to employ a global vaccine with a chip that everyone must take in order to buy and sell and move about freely in the world? Is this a form of control? Or are they seeking to lock down the world under control because they've seen that they were going to be losing more and more control because the power has been going to the people? Because the people have become more and more self-sufficient, and we were moving in the direction to self-sufficiency. Everyone has known about the education system. More and more knowledge has come about the education system. More and more knowledge has come about pollution. More and more knowledge has come about banks and, school. So, the elderly. The elderly have been impacted by COVID first before African Americans. It was, attacking the elderly after China, of course. Yeah. Let's start there. Let's start there. China. Now, everything I'm going to touch and go on is all over the news. Lots of reports have been written about them, so don't be asking me how I know what I know, where I know. Okay? Go read. So anyway, China. Y'all already know there's been trade wars going on with the taxes and import, export, outport, all that stuff, right? It has impacted me personally because my husband is a truck driver, and many trucking companies have gone under messing around with these tariffs and taxes, and the trucking industry have slowed down a lot over the last maybe like year and a half or so, but it was hit hardest last year. So anyway, a lot of companies folded. They did not make it through. Some kind of way we still trucking along. We took some massive hits, but we're still trucking along. But anyway, that had to do with that. So Donald Trump been playing games with China. He been, having a pissing war with them for a little minute now. He kept them on ice. And guess what? He just took the ice off of them earlier this year. I said, oh my God, China. Donald Trump is, he's cool with China now. But they only lasted for a little while, because the next thing you know, this thing is in China, and all of a sudden China is a horrible place. How convenient. Okay, so I'm all for China, right? So the next thing is the elderly, okay? So all of a sudden China is a horrible place. That's a bird with this COVID stone, okay? A lot of people are canceling their orders from China. People don't want China does a lot of work for a lot of businesses, and many businesses have halted their orders from China because of COVID. So China's losing a lot of money. They're losing a lot of business, and it ain't just start. Okay? We've been depending on China forever, okay? You know how much power China got over you every day? Let me see. Is this got China? That two got China? They got China on. They got China on it. China is everywhere. I ain't playing. Y'all know I ain't playing. China everywhere. So I'm gonna get off of China. Y'all know how important China is to our economy, and y'all know. Just go read. Y'all gonna see how Donald Trump and China been going back and forth, bro. Like, I ain't even gotta go deep. I ain't even trying to be deep. The elderly, okay. Is COVID an attack on the baby boomers? Is it an attack on the elderly? What's going on with Social Security? Can our country afford Social Security? Can they afford retirements? Can they afford to pay my 401k? Let's just think about that. How much debt is this country in already? You think about it. I say that's a stone, because how did it get into all these nursing homes at the same time? That's just odd to me. It's just hitting the nursing homes first. All you hear on the news when it first came out was nursing home this, nursing home that. Okay? This old person dying, that old person dying. Okay, now we got enough old people dying. Who next? Who next? Let's get the next stone. the African American population. Okay, yeah, y'all been a slave population for a good little while because they have been very, very successful in just poisoning your communities. There is a list of things that they have done systematically over centuries to get you there. Yes. But anyway, they still don't like your tail because you're great. You're awesome. You make something out of nothing everywhere you go. And guess what else? Culture follows you. Who's hiding culture today? The Kardashians. What they do? They follow African American culture. Where's music today? Where's entertainment today? Hip hop is everywhere. Black culture is everywhere. We drive commerce. We drive everything. But if you continue to rise up as millionaires and billionaires and make your money and have self-sufficiency, you're going to be a problem to the locomotive that has been running this country for the last several hundred years. Okay? You're a threat. You're a threat to the system. And we're gonna show you what's up, okay? And so we're gonna close down your businesses because you're probably not that far ahead. You probably don't have that much of a savings, even though you're a millionaire right now. You're on your way to being a multi-millionaire. I want to sit you on ice. I'm gonna sit your businesses on ice and see how well you can take that. Now, some of you may survive, but we're gonna be able to be successful with many of you. I say that is another stone. Okay, the next thing is the middle class. Okay, there were 11 million millionaires by the end of last year. As of March 24th, Bloomberg reported that 500,000 of them were no longer classified millionaires. Now, that was on the 24th of March. That was maybe like a week or so of quarantine, a week or so. Now we're nearing another month. So how many more millionaires have lost their millionaire status? Millionaires are a threat to the system. We need the people to be broke and ignorant. We need a slave population. The slave population is not just African Americans. It is everyone. Everyone. It's no longer the color of your skin. It is the green in your pocket. Okay? We don't need no one. When we swear into the military or any type of service, you are swearing to protect whatever you're swearing to protect against enemies, foreign and domestic. People who are coming up and getting power within this nation are domestic enemies. Okay, I've said too much. Moving on. Healthcare. Global vaccine. I'm not going to get too deep into this because this is really the conspiracy bug. And even though I say that I'm a conspiracy theorist, I don't like to get too much into conspiracies, but I do believe that this is another one that they're going to win. They're going to actually successfully push this vaccine because they have inflated the numbers of the people who have COVID. You know, a lot of people that they're saying died from COVID didn't really die from COVID. They just don't have the time to figure out what the real cause of their death is, but they just calling it COVID. There are a lot of people who have other things. They put other people out of the hospital because they want to take care of COVID people before they even really had any real research on COVID. So they say. But we know that COVID is patented. It's been patented for quite some time. And we know that the vaccine has been patented. And we know that the cure has been patented as well. But anywho, they still don't have legitimate numbers on COVID, whether it be dead of the people who have contracted it. And there's not enough research being done, had been done for them to even have made African Americans the face of COVID. I'm highly offended, and I'm offended that we have accepted that as truth. The question is, why are they inflating the COVID-19 cases numbers? What is the narrative? What are they trying to do? What is the outcome that they're seeking? And pumping these numbers up. Well, if they can pump these numbers up and get you to be afraid and get you to react and respond out of fear, then they won't have to push the vaccine on you. You'll be begging for it. And whatever is in that vaccine, whether it's COVID itself, a chip, or a death sentence, you're going to beg for it. Even though I know for a fact that those COVID numbers have been inflated, I still know that us as a people do not take our health serious. We do not. I cannot say, I can say for a fact that we do not drink. We're not recreational, any more inclined to recreational drug use or alcoholism than our Caucasian brothers and sisters, okay? They're actually more inclined to do drugs, more inclined to be alcoholics than we are, but we have bought into being the face of welfare, of being the face of drugs, of the war on drugs, of just anything that is negative. We have accepted being the face of it, and we have accepted this is our reality, and we've accepted that this is who we are, and we act according to who we believe that we are, and we become very, very self-destructive. And when you're self-destructive, you don't see beauty or anything of value in anybody that look like you, because you don't see it in yourself. So we as a people, we really come to the point where we gladly walk into our demise. We will dance into our grace, and nothing of it. It's sad. I don't know what's going to happen or how long this is going to last, how far this thing is going to go, but I always like to look at the silver lining, the positive side and everything. But I've been saying this for the longest, and I'm going to continue to say it. We needed to come out of some of these systems, all of these systems anyway. For one, the education system. Everyone knows that the school system as it is broken. It is not teaching the children what they need to survive. It's not teaching them true economics. It's not teaching them how to grow food. It's not teaching them how to make their clothes. You might get one class here and there, but it's not enough to really be ingrained and embedded into them in order to take care of themselves. These are real life skills that people need to survive. You need to know how to grow a garden. You need to know about grounding yourself. You need to know about those foods that really speak to your cells, how to make electricity, how to purify water, how to start a fire, all these things that are really about survival. In addition to those basic survival things, they need to know about how to start an account, how to navigate the credit system and the credit bureaus, and starting a business, things like that. Kids need to know that. They need to know about writing grants and, about working together. These are the type of things that we can educate and teach our own children about that are not being taught in schools, okay? They can learn about their own history. We don't have to promote that inferiority complex that comes with an education in that system. Now, that's not, across the board, but it's widespread. And it's touching all of our children. The same test that was given to those children decades ago, trying to see who's the good kid, the beautiful kid, the bad kid. Kids are still taking those tests today and still believing that they are not worthy, that they're not good just because of the color of their skin without doing anything wrong. They don't feel worthy. And that is starting from a child in these systems. So I say we need to come up out of that anyway. But I say this, every woman doesn't need to be a stay-at-home wife or mother. Yes, you can still go to work, but we have to come together as a community, as a village. If a couple of mothers can say, you know what? I love to teach. I like to educate. I'm very good at with the children. I can understand them and help to mold them, and I enjoy it. Then those handful of women can stay home and educate the children, and those women who are inclined to work and hustle and make money outside of the home, then they can support those women who are educating their children, understanding with knowledge that they're going to educate them on the things that they actually need to survive in this world. Economics, horticulture, things that are going to help them survive, science, STEM, like STEM programs, things of that nature. There's so much that we can do to educate our children in ways that are really going to benefit them and benefit our society outside of their books. But did you also not know that you can purchase those books, the same books that you get in school with lies and everything in them? You can purchase those books and still educate and train and teach your children yourself. And you can have them take these tests and still pass their systems as well. You don't have to go to their classes to take their tests. You just get their books and take their tests. Okay? So let's just make it make sense. And your children don't have to wait till they graduate high school to have a career, to build themselves, to build a brand. You have many child entrepreneurs. Many millionaires and billionaires have not even gotten a degree themselves. The next thing I want to talk about is another conspiracy theory. I don't like to get too much into the deep and the dark. You feel me? But you got the Pizzagate, you got the adrenochrome, you got all these different things where they're talking about they're doing these mass arrests of people in high places who've been a part of this global structural thing where they are trafficking children, they're mutilating, and I don't even want to talk about it. Just go look it up, man. So this is supposed to be, just look up mass arrests and all this other stuff gonna start coming up. Okay, so that's supposed to be another story. I don't know how true that is. My thing is this. If that thing is so far and widespread and there's so many powerful people, I don't foresee all of these powerful people being able to be caught at the same time. I did notice that a lot of people have been stepping down from prominent positions at a lot of different places. You can look that up too. I'll put it in the comment or something, like, a link that you can look up and see all the different CEOs and people who own prominent businesses or who are managing many businesses worldwide, who are stepping down, who have stepped down, who have quit, who have retired. Namely the Queen of England, she stepped down, which is amazing. But anyway, what y'all think about Harry and your girl getting out of there before that whole thing crumpled? Anyway, so there's a lot of things surrounding this whole thing, and I believe there is truth in all of it. I believe there are many birds that are being hit with this COVID stone, and you and I are one of them. But the difference between those people who are going to go crazy and those who are going to come out shining like gold under this pressure, those who are going to come out as diamonds under this pressure, are those who understand preparation and preparedness. Okay, so just getting back to nature, man. Like, they got y'all inside, go get some sun. Make sure y'all get some sun. Melanated people, we need sun in our lives. It helps your immune system. Drink a lot of water. Don't be snacking too much. Don't be sitting up there gaining weight, getting fat, because that also messes with your immunity. Okay, with your immune system. Everything that you're doing right now, you want to be boosting up your immunity, because guess what? This is not the end of this psychological, biological warfare that's going on. They are going to continue to pursue the outcome that they desire, as long as they have power, as long as they have authority. And don't you think for one second that Donald Trump ain't a part of that training. He trying to protect you for something, because guess what? We knew, and we've been knew, and we that the president does not run the country, that he does not make decisions, that he's just a puppet. If you think Donald Trump doing what Donald Trump want to do and ain't nobody telling Donald Trump what to do, you're giving him way too much doggone credit. You're being played. The nation's being played. We're being played. And at the end of the day, none of the politics show doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the fact that you have accepted that you have no power. That's the problem. The problem is you have accepted the laws of the land to govern you, and you have decided that you cannot Govern yourself. Whether you have decided it willingly or just, you know, you have to understand that if you grow your own food, can't nobody poison you with the Doritos. You know, if you can clean your own water, if you can educate your own children, if you can clothe yourself and, you know, do all the things that you need for yourself, you'll be good. You'll be good. But we may need to get back to nature. So regardless of any of the things that, any of those conspiracies or any of those motivating factors for why this is what it is, there still is only one call to action that any of us can do. At this point in time, they have done so much, they have had so much success in dumbing you down and stripping away your rights, your freedoms, your liberty, your desire for independence and self-sufficiency. They've done so well with that to the point where there's only one thing that can be done by us as a people at this time, and that is to tap into collective consciousness. What is collective consciousness? Look it up. Okay, we need to tap into collective consciousness, whether that is prayer, meditation, chanting. All of that is energy. You have your opinions about it, whatever. Prayer works, chanting works, meditation works, affirmation works. It's all truly the same thing. It's just a different language. It's energy. Putting the energy into something that you desire and having an intention set behind it, a belief, a faith set behind it, and desiring a set outcome. That is more powerful when two or more join together, and the more people join together, the more powerful. So I believe that collective consciousness, where everyone is joined together in, whether that is prayer, whether that is meditation, whether that is fasting, but for the people to come together with the set of intention of just the fall of those who operate in darkness, those who operate in those things that are not of goodwill and of good faith, and those things that are not beneficial and just good for mankind, not good for the world. And so if we could just, I mean, it sounds really, really cliche. I know it sounds really zen and really 60s weedheadish, but it's just the truth, you know. Love is always the answer. Love is always the answer, truly. And it's about vibrating on a certain frequency. And the only thing that can beat out darkness is the light. And that's just the truth of the matter. You know, I believe in balance. I believe in balance, and I believe that, you know, all things, there's a time for everything, but there's a consequence for everything as well. And so there's always, you know, balance to be sought. And when things are going too far this way, you better believe the swing is coming back. It's coming back, y'all. And so the power is within the people. It's within the people to believe and know that they have the power, and to not lay down and to not go quietly into the slumber. Anyway,